So this is the new Scorp 2 gimbal. Now I've had it a little while now, but I wanted to really try it out, get to know it before I did a review of it for you, which I'll show you right now. I'm off to meet my buddy George Cairns, where we're filming for a property developer. It's a refurbishment of an old school building, so it's a perfect opportunity to use the Scorp 2 where I'll take it through all the different follow modes. It's nice and light. This is like no weight to it at all. And actually, look, you've got a nice... This is pretty good setup, you know.
Yeah, I like the Scorps.
Now Scorp 2 has some great little tricks up its sleeve, particularly the built-in AI tracking, so you don't have to clip anything on. You just give it some hand signals and it'll start tracking you. So let's park up and just try that out. I really love having this extension pole. It was really great using it just as a more support when you're filming, and also to use it as a tripod in this way to give you that extra height is really perfect. Just to look at the AI tracking now, which is built in. There's no extra little gadget you have to fit on here, and all I need to do is give it the OK sign, and as you can see it just snaps into the tracking mode, and as I move around it will start to follow me. So that's really handy. So if you were presenting, talking to camera, and you want something to track you, haven't got an extra person with you, for a content creator, that's absolutely ideal. And then you can reposition it by doing this symbol here, and then reposition yourself. So typically it'll try and put your head right in the center of the frame, which tends to put the camera too high. So this is a good way to just drop the camera so you're in the upper third, and obviously you can put yourself to 1/3 to the right or left as well. So it's just a nice, more engaging shot, a little more creative, and it works really well. Then to stop the tracking, you can just do the symbol like that. I'll just start tracking again. You can also do the symbol like that. So now it's not tracking me. Okay, it is tracking. Now it's not tracking. But you can also just go repeat the OK sign, and now as you can see it's not tracking me. Now of course you have these cool little feet that just pop out from here, and this is what gives it its name, the Scorpion, Scorp 2. And of course you don't need the tripod on here, you can tripod stand, you can just pop the feet down, and you've got quite a nice stable footing for it. Another feature I rather like is this wheel here, and you can control what it does by pressing this button here, but at the moment this will control the roll. So you could be filming and then just tilt the roll as you're moving, or if you want to reset your horizontal to your own desired levels. And if you just press this button here, it will just move it, because now it controls the tilt. Press it again, and it'll do the pan. So of course you can use this in conjunction with your normal gimbal moves. It's got good quality rubber and it's made of nice well-made plastic and then aluminium parts. I won't spend too much time on how to balance this gimbal because it's the same as every gimbal. The one unique thing I did find out about it is it has these little red dots. Once you've set it up, you can move these little red dots backwards and forwards so that you know the exact point to go to next time if you're using the same lens. Or to lock it, you have these nice sort of little push buttons here. Then just to go through the other buttons, you have the AB button here, and it's a long press to set an in point, and then to go back to that point you give it a short press, and there to set waypoints that you can then record it moving from one waypoint to the other. It's actually easier to set it up through the LCD screen on the back here because you can tell it how fast you want to move it between these 2 points, etc. This is the on-off button. It's a long press just to turn it on, and then a short press to put it into sleep mode. And then you've got an F2 button here and an F1 on the other side. F2 will put this screen back into home position, or a long press will lock that screen. And the F1 button on the other side here will put it into portrait mode or switch AI on and off. And just here is your trigger, and it's a triple tap to turn it into selfie mode. 1, 2, 3. Double tap to recenter. And a single press will put it into lock mode when you're moving the gimbal around and you want it to just stay in one position. You could Bluetooth connect it, we'll look at that later, but you can also cable connect it here at the top. I found with Bluetooth some functions didn't work in the LCD screen, and with the cable it enabled those functions to work. For example, the actual camera settings, I needed the cable. It did record without the cable in Bluetooth mode. You give this button a long press to change the function of this button. So this will do the tilt. Press it once, do the pan, press it again, it'll do the roll. Double tap to bring that back. If I do a long press, it'll then adjust the focus motor and the focus ring. When you're using the LCD screen, this will click around and make adjustments to that. Shortcut button here for FPV mode. And on the back here, of course, you've got the joystick. So on the back here, you have the mode button, and that'll toggle you through the different follow modes. And then you've got your record and shutter button there. So it's a short press to record on and off, and a long press to take a photo. You've got 2 other ports in here to attach accessories, as you do here. And then there's a port just under here, which is where you charge it. If you have pre-loved tech and you want to raise funds for your new gear, then head over to MPB and they'll give you cash for your kit. There's a link in the description below. So just to take a quick look around the app. So then to control the gimbal's movement, you just click on the name of your device and you'll see you'll go into joystick mode, and you can control your gimbal movements with that. .360 mode, and you can recenter it. It's good to turn it, move it around. that one to recenter. And if you click this button at the bottom, you can use your phone as the controller. We're just going to go through the menu. So this is the main screen here. So if we just tap at the top, this is where we calibrate the gimbal. So when you start tuning, you will see the gimbal go through these vibrating motions, and it doesn't take long, and it's just going to calibrate itself. And that's that complete. You'll see a little light line on one side. If you just flick across from there, it takes you back. Just here you can tell it how fast or slow you want the joystick to work or the gimbal to move. Medium, fast. I've got it on slow, so it's nice, smooth and cinematic. And the mode button at the bottom will also scroll you through those, so it's just another way of accessing that. Then here you can go through all the different functions that you can make the camera do. This only worked for me while I was cabled, not through Bluetooth. Might be a Sony thing, I don't know. But you have time lapse. Auto rotation is that Inception type mode where you can make it corkscrew round. Take panorama images, for example, a 180. You can set the parameters and start shooting. And again, this only worked when I was cabled. Confirm and return. And you can do a custom mode on that, and then you can just return. And here you can turn the camera into portrait mode, do panoramas, selfie mode, which we've already looked at, and track video, which I think is really good. You can set in and out waypoints, so you basically put your camera into one position, press the plus button, and you say you want to, here it says 2 seconds, confirm that, put it in a different direction, add to that, and it says how long do you want to stay there, 2 seconds, how long do you want it to take, let's say we want it to take 3 seconds, confirm that, start shooting. You would press the record button first. Okay, when I was in Bluetooth I had to press the record button and then do that motion, but now I'm cabled, it did that automatically, so that will have just filmed that sequence. Flicking up again, you can now adjust the pan, tilt and roll settings here. You can dampen it out, how sensitive it is, and the speed you want it to react. Coming across from the right hand side, you've now got some important settings here where you can adjust the speed of the pan and tilt, how fast you want this to be. And in here you can disable the selfie mode, so if you're on a shoot and you don't want it to suddenly do that, you can also manually lock your pan and your tilts. Here you can do a horizon calibration, which I particularly needed to do to correct the calibration on this. Now you've got the settings, you can set what to assign, what you want the A and B buttons to do. And this is where your Bluetooth connection is. As you can see, I'm connected to this camera. And this is where you would sync it here, sync it in your camera, so they both talk to each other. And then you can change the backlight. And whether you've got AI power on and off, the language, and if you want it to be in silent mode as well, which can be very handy on an important shoot. I really liked this gimbal. In fact, I'm going to use it as my everyday run and gun, and the reasons are I can put quite a big payload on this, and it's very light to use. I liked the way it's got the extension rod, a normal tripod, and its little feet that pop out, so there's lots of options there. It's very quick and easy to set up. It's really easy to quickly rebalance if you're changing lenses. But for me, I think one of the main standout features is having the AI tracking on it. So if you're a solo creator, to be able to have that function is absolutely fantastic. I really liked this wheel on the side where you can just gently pan or tilt. That's a really nice feature. You get some really smooth content with that. So I think it's a really good all-rounder. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Really good value for the price. Now, if you're interested in this gimbal, there's a link in the description down below. If you want to know more about various other gimbals I've reviewed, there's a playlist over here. Please show me the love, subscribe to the channel, clicking on the link over here, and I'll look forward to seeing you over there.